welcome back, everyone. We are here at our final session of today. This is the Trailblazer Awards, and it is being hosted today by Ms. Krista Jones. Krista is a proud product of the George Washington University School of Political Management, and I've had the pleasure of reading her bio, and we do not have enough time for me to tell you all of the magnificent things that this woman has accomplished in her career. She is not only a leader of an association, she is a well-known public speaker, she is an author, she is an advocate, and she's someone who has focused her time and energy on championing a talent throughout the political industry, which is why we are here today. Without further ado, I will pass the microphone over to Ms. Krista Jones. Thank you so much for doing this for us today, Krista.
Thank you so much, Terry. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Krista Jones, and I'm the founder of Vote Lead Impact, an organization I founded 15 years ago to increase the political participation of African Americans. I started the organization as Virginia Leadership Institute. I was in the Graduate School of Political Management program, and I was writing my master's thesis on the lack of Black congresspeople in Virginia. And Professor Chuck Cushman suggested that instead of writing a purely academic thesis, why don't I try to solve the problem? It was a different time in 2006. So this was pre-Obama and before a lot of the amazing organizations which are thriving today and robustly helping African Americans across the country reach the highest levels of politics. Over the last 15 years, we have mentored, honored, trained, referred, and tracked hundreds of leaders looking to have their voices heard on school boards, city councils, and in Congress. When I look back over the last 15 years, I am proud of the work that our community has done together to bring equity to the political sphere, which in turn changes the way we think about African Americans in all sectors of society. Over the past several years, VLI has partnered with GSPM to honor Black GSPM graduates who have excelled in their field and are truly trailblazers. As Blacks in politics, we know that we have come a long way, but there is still so much more progress which needs to be made. Special thank you to the National Black Professional Lobbyists Association for all the work you do for Blacks in politics and for hosting our virtual awards ceremony this afternoon. So today, I am so thrilled to honor 7 amazing African Americans who I would like to call our trailblazers. First, we have Janae Holloway. Janae Holloway is a creative strategist and producer who specializes in the intersection between storytelling, culture, and social impact. Janae is currently the Associate Director of Special Events at Vogue, where she has produced major events like the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund Gala, the Tony Awards Red Carpet, and the Costume Institute Benefit, or the Met Gala. A proud alumna of Spelman College, Janae brings her passion for elevating and celebrating women of color to everything she does. Before joining Vogue, Janae was a special projects editor at Glamour, where she wrote about education and equality, racial justice, and Black culture. Janae also helped to launch the Girl Project, Glamour's global philanthropic initiative in support of girls' education and empowerment, an issue that Janae has been committed to since serving with Teach for America in Los Angeles. Prior to moving to New York City, Janae spent several years working in politics in Washington, D.C., where she served on Capitol Hill and in the Obama administration White House. Most recently, Janae consulted with the 2020 Biden for President campaign, securing top-tier celebrity surrogates for press and creative content opportunities to drive voter engagement and mobilization. While in DC, Janae earned her MA in political management from the George Washington University. In her spare time, Janae enjoys reading, writing, and hosting dinner parties with her closest friends and family. Congratulations, Janae. So we'd love to, go ahead, yeah.
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I am really just honored to accept this award with such esteemed colleagues in different fields. As you heard from my bio, I have a relatively non-traditional path, but when I started Teach for America, they told us that it was meant to be a leadership program, and we were meant to take with us the skills that we learned about being a leader in a classroom, but also the inequality that young students of color were experiencing in certain communities. We were supposed to take that with us and do what we could to help them, whether it's in the classroom or beyond. And so I've dedicated my career to focusing on education and equality, and then shedding light on issues that people don't always think about, that students are facing, that young women are facing internationally and domestically. And so I am so honored and thrilled to accept this, and thank you so much for thinking of me for this opportunity. And to any of the students out there or young people out there, I would just say, you know, if you're looking to continue working into politics or education or even in media, just say yes to all of the opportunities that may come your way. On the other side of an unconventional opportunity could be one of the most amazing growth experiences of your life. So I just encourage you to continue pushing forward and continue saying yes. And thank you again.
Thank you so much, Janae, for those words of wisdom. You are definitely a perfect awardee for this award, so thank you. Next, we have Remington Belford. Remington is an avid New Orleans Saints fan who believes that you get more places being pleasant. He is a high-impact strategic and political communications advocate with a diverse network of relationships, hailing from Houston, Texas. He is the third of 4 brothers and comes from a large extended family who has helped define the man he is today. Remington graduated from Texas Southern University, where he studied biology and chemistry. After graduation, Remington began work in the nonprofit sector at the intersection of marginalized communities of the greater Houston area and pharmaceutical companies to provide patients with medication assistance programs and case management. Remington then began working on several local political campaigns. Upon the successful outcome of all of the races, Remington accepted and joins the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Emerging Leaders Internship Spring 2016 cohort. Congratulations, Remington.
Thank you so much. It is an esteemed honor to be here with you all today. I just want to give a special thank you to all of the officers that I've had the pleasure of working with who have led me to this prestigious award. I'd like to thank my current boss, Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, and our entire team who have supported me, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, whose team propped me up and empowered me to do the things that I've been blessed to be able to be a part of. I want to thank my mom, because we got to make sure we thank Black women. So I'll thank all Black women for the opportunity to be here to stand on your shoulders. I also want to thank God for this opportunity, and I want to utilize this mechanism as an opportunity to tell anyone who's watching to empower yourselves to follow your journey. And I want to leave with one of my favorite authors and wielders of words, Toni Morrison, when she said, when you get these jobs that you're so brilliantly trained for, remember to bring someone with you. That's a guiding principle for me. And I thank all of you for this amazing opportunity. And it's not lost on me the gravity of it as I'm hearing the bios of my cohort. And so thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Remington. That too is just excellent advice. I think to all the students out here, that's something that you're going to hear a common theme in everyone's journey, is that they really reach back and lifted other people up. So thank you for bringing that forward, Remington. Next, we have Ivan Ruffin. Ivan Ruffin has over a decade of experience in service to the federal government, implementing operational risk assessments, managing federal real estate renovations and space allocation projects, and improving government financial management systems and operational efficiencies. He currently works at the Government Accountability Office, where he serves as an advisor to management overseeing financial operations and treasury functions. He previously served in the Social Security Administration's Office of the Associate Commissioner for the Budget, Facilities and Security, crafting interagency agreements to expand access to hearing operations for remote and marginalized communities throughout the United States and its territories. He also served at the Social Security Administration's flagship office in Washington, D.C. as a subject matter expert on the Title II and the Title 16 of the Social Security Act in which he liaised and conferred with foreign ministers and diplomats. In addition, he served as a public affairs specialist at Auburn University, Montgomery Center for Governments, during which he assessed the efficacy of employment and labor programs, such as the statewide Alabama Reemployment Initiative. He is a graduate of Tuskegee University with a Master's of Public Administration from Troy University and a master's degree in legislative affairs from George Washington University. Congratulations, Ivan.
Thank you so much. Oh man, it's a real honor to be included. First of all, this was a surprise. I didn't expect this, but I humbly accept it to be included with such beautiful and powerful people, seeing the work that's being done in our community, and just really looking forward to the future of that work. I mean, I'm in awe. I'm very thankful. God bless everybody here. To the students that's watching, all hands on deck. This is that time. I am a descendant of George Lewis Ruffin and Josephine St. Pierre, who were both abolitionists. And when I learned of my connection to them, I really had to look into myself and my soul. What can I do to add? And thank you, Dr. Laura Brown, for really just, bringing me on and just encouraging me. And I, reached out to my alma mater, Tuskegee University, and, even Alabama State, which I attended for 1 year. And I just feel like this is that time. This is the time. This is just a really important time in our life. And if we, just really get down into this and do everything that we need to do, I can see a really bright future for us. So God bless everybody. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ivan. And I really appreciate the fact that you brought up, the history that you've done on your family and what you found out about them. I personally have been doing a lot of genealogical research as well. And it really is empowering and inspiring to think about what our ancestors went through and our family, the struggles they went through and what they achieved and how that directs us today. So thank you so much, Ivan.
Thank you.
Next, we have Charlie Carter. Charlie Carter is an advocate, organizer, strategist, and trainer. For more than 30 years, she has been an effective force for change and a fierce advocate for working families and communities of color across the nation. She was a leader in the fight to end wage discrimination in Maryland, give paid sick leave to 700,000 workers, and win a record $1.2 billion to some of the oldest school buildings in the nation. She also passed groundbreaking labor peace laws to ensure workers at publicly funded hotels and casinos would be able to join a union. Her work in Maryland helped to restore voting rights to returning citizens and pass progressive voting laws, making it easier for all citizens to vote. Training new leaders has been a passion for Charlie from her early career. A highly sought trainer, she has recruited, trained, and advised more than 3,000 candidates over her career, working with organizations such as SEIU, CWA, Unite Here, Wellstone Academy, Women's Campaign Research Fund, and the Working Families Party. In 2014, Charlie launched the New Leader Boot Camp, a groundbreaking program that trains newly elected legislators to work collaboratively as progressive caucuses. More than 50 state, county, and municipal leaders have gone through the New Leader Boot Camp and have been responsible for passing transformative policies in Maryland. She went on to found Step Up Maryland, an organization dedicated to engaging underrepresented communities to identify and recruit potential leaders. Step Up Maryland helps them develop the skills to navigate power structures and become effective advocates for their communities. Currently, Charlie serves as the executive director of the Democracy Initiative, where she is focused on eliminating gridlock in Congress caused by the Jim Crow era filibuster rule. Coordinating the efforts of the DI's 75 partner organizations and their 45 million members, the DI is training voters to recognize, organize, and mobilize to fight voter suppression and disinformation in local elections. Charlie resides in Baltimore, Maryland, where she remains an active citizen. Congratulations, Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you, Krista. It's an honor for me to be here today, and I'm humbled to receive the Trailblazer Award. When I think back to when I started on this journey some 30 years ago, people told me, you're a poor Black woman with no contacts. Politics is not the place for you. But I knew that that was the problem. Without Black and Brown people and our perspectives in the room, politics would never be a place for people like me or the folks on this call. The GSPM, the Graduate School of Political Management, was just an experiment when I attended back in 1991. Lodged between the New School and Baruch College in New York. It was a few classrooms that were rented out, but the people and the experience that I had there were transformative for me and showed me that I didn't need a legacy of contacts on a Rolodex passed down from a rich uncle to be able to make a change and to get into this business. It's not a coincidence that the progress that we've seen toward an inclusive democracy and an inclusive economy coincides with the growing cadres of advocates, lobbyists, strategists, and elected leaders in our political system. We won't get there. This nation will not, this democracy will never survive and thrive without our involvement. So I'm really honored to see all of you here today. We've come a long way since I got started on this journey, but we still have quite a ways to go. And I look forward to walking with and working alongside of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charlie. You really brought up just a lot of important points. Of course, I have an affinity towards training others to run for office and to be leaders as well. So thank you so much for all of the amazing work that you're doing. Next, we have Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson is Managing Director for Strategy and Evaluation at Mother Cabrini Health Foundation. Prior to that, he was Executive Vice President for Government Affairs at Children's Health Fund and Policy Director at the National Center for Disaster Preparedness at Columbia University's Earth Institute. In his 27 years at Children's Health Fund, Mr. Johnson also served as Vice President of External Affairs and Interim Director for the Fund's National Network of Mobile-Based Pediatric Programs. Prior to his tenure at the Children's Health Fund, Mr. Johnson was a Senior Program Officer at the Fund for New York City Public Education and a Research Analyst at the Public Policy Institute of the Business Council of New York State. Mr. Johnson received his bachelor's degree from the University of Pennsylvania and his master's degree in political management from the Graduate School of Political Management. Please welcome Dennis Johnson. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Krista. It's great being here today with all of you, and I do deeply appreciate the award and recognition by GSPM and the other sponsoring organizations. But moreover, it's most gratifying to be part of this growing community of political professionals and some of the folks I see on this call and that I'm learning about and hearing about. It's inspirational, and actually, as a member of the initial class of the Graduate School of Political Management, back when it was based in New York, it's just astounding to me to see how far we've come. It's the realization of a lot of hopes and dreams that I had at the time, to see this emerging cohort of the young Black professionals getting into the game, so to speak, in so many ways, so many profound ways. It's just very, it's just superlative in many respects. So in my own 30 plus years in the nonprofit sector, I've had the privilege of working at some very critical intersections. The intersection of politics and public education, the intersection of politics and healthcare, politics and emergency preparedness and disaster response. And in all of these arenas and all of these sectors, one of my best assets has been the ability to leverage my understanding, my acumen, as it relates to politics and the political process, and using what I've learned and what I know to help get things done. It's taken me into some pretty amazing places. My organization, Children's Health Fund, where we supported a network of innovative pediatric mobile programs serving underserved populations across the country. We were right in the crucible of health reform in the 90s. I was pleased to be able to organize successfully a string of child health summits on Capitol Hill with speakers and guests ranging from Ted Kennedy to Strom Thurmond, and the ability to work, as we all do, with everyone who represents the touchstones of power on Capitol Hill and elsewhere. You know, you develop a set of skills and ways of communicating and advocating for things that you support that build one on the other, and at some point relationships develop, and that's how the matrix of political influence and progress is supported in Washington, in states across the country, in cities across the country. So I applaud all of you for investing in development of these skills. But I would ask that as you develop and refine those skills as practitioners of the art of politics, that remember these skills are needed in the nonprofit sector as well. I mean, they're needed across the spectrum of sectors, but the nonprofit sector needs you, particularly at the leadership level. And only by having that connection will we ensure that the building blocks to progress are protected and guaranteed, and opportunity is guaranteed for those who come after us to continue to build out our presence and our strength politically. So once again, thank you, and I look forward to working with all of you and being connected to all of you going forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dennis, for that advice. And I have to tell everyone, when I reached out to Dennis, he noted that we have a mutual connection, and you all may know her as well, Karen Hendricks, who worked for a long time for the American Academy of Pediatrics. So it's really great to know that, you know, although we all don't know each other now, we have a growing network and relationships between us who have all helped us grow in our field as African Americans in politics. So thank you and congratulations, Dennis. Next, we have Janelle Carter-Brevard. Janelle Carter-Brevard is a chief storyteller for the National Association of Realtors. In this role, she leads efforts to share the stories of the nation's 1.5 million realtors. Janelle has the distinction of being the first Black woman to serve as a speechwriter and senior advisor at the Department of State under the nation's first Black Secretary of State, Dr. Condoleezza Rice. After leaving the State Department, Janelle was a communications advisor for the CEOs of top corporations like Delphi and Hilton Worldwide. Janelle is a member of the inaugural cohort of the Presidential Leadership Scholars, an executive education style cohort led by Presidents Bush and Clinton, where she has been recognized for her efforts to provide books and improve literacy amongst grade school children in her Mississippi hometown. She holds a bachelor's degree from Florida A&M and a master's degree from George Washington University. Janelle currently resides in Northern Virginia with her husband and 3 children and serves as vice chair of the Community Foundation for Loudoun and Northern Fauquier counties. Janelle is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Jack and Jill of America, Toastmasters International, and is a life member of the Florida A&M University National Alumni Association. She is also a past recipient of George Washington University's Graduate School of Political Management Alumni Achievement Award. Congratulations, Janelle.
Thank you so much, Krista. I want to first thank you for accepting that charge so many years ago and keeping with it all these years, I guess 15 years. So thank you so much for what you're doing here. I also want to thank Laura Brown, who I think is watching, and thank you, Laura, for just your vision and your commitment to change and diversity. So thank you very much. I am so honored to accept this award. When I began in political speech writing, you know, it was during a time where it was still sort of people were leery about whether or not we as Blacks could actually capture the voices of non-Blacks. And so it was a road to really carry. And I remember early on in my career getting on the plane for a trip and sitting in the staff section, and literally no one would speak the entire time on the plane. It was as if I was invisible. But look at how far we've come today, and there have been advances, and there are Black people writing in all aspects of government, and change is happening. And so I just would like to tell all of the young people that are watching just to continue to move forward and continue to stay the course. You know, I actually flew in last night from Texas visiting with one of our members who has a ranch, and it is many, many acres. And we were riding through the ranch, and I was asking, how do you how do you get through here? Because it's hard to have a path. It was just full of bush and just, trees and things everywhere. And he said, you just come in and you just chop through every single time you come in through, you just chop through. And that's my message for the young people that are watching is all of us have to do our part just to continue to keep chopping and chop through and make a clear path for the ones that are coming behind us. It's up to all of us to continue to do that and to keep chopping. And so I want to thank all of you. I want to encourage those of you that are still working in politics and making your way through. But thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you so much, Janelle. I love those words. Just continue to chop through. Again, I'll say to the students here that is a common theme with all of us. Janelle, you have clearly done that throughout your career. So thank you so much. We have one last awardee who unfortunately was not able to be with us today, but I'm just going to read a little bit of his bio. Philip J. Thomas Wallace is a senior government affairs leader with extensive experience as a trusted policy and political advisor to Fortune 1 executives, innovators, and accomplished entrepreneurs. He currently serves as director of federal government affairs at Walmart, where his wide range of responsibilities include global thought leadership, building consensus among external stakeholders, developing legislative strategies, and advising company decision makers on political matters. Prior to joining Walmart, Philip built a long track record of success in past management roles at venture capital firm Intellectual Ventures, Hyundai Motor Company, and AHRI, a global trade association. After launching Hyundai's U.S. state government affairs program, he worked with state legislatures across the country to pass new laws that criminalize the creation, sale, and distribution of counterfeit airbags, a serious interstate commerce issue that impacted the safety of American consumers. He also served on the company's cross-functional crisis response team during a major federal investigation. He is a lifelong Democrat, and he started his career as a U.S. Senate staffer for the Committee on the Small Business and Entrepreneurship under the leadership of former Louisiana Senator Mary Landrieu, and served during the negotiations and final passage of the Small Business Job Acts of 2010. In addition to his corporate experience, Philip is an active member of Electing a Democratic Generation, or EDGE, where he regularly provides insight to millennial incumbents and candidates seeking office. So we'd like to congratulate Philip and for all of his great work. He definitely has more of a traditional lobbyist political career, but obviously everyone who is being honored today has really shined in their own way as an African-American in politics. So in terms of closing remarks, I just want to say, congratulations again to all of the awardees. It has really warmed my heart just hearing about all of the great work that you were doing in every space and every corner of politics. And to all of the students who are listening, I just want you to realize, and I think this is something that Janae said in the beginning, that there are just a lot of different paths you can take. She's taken a very different path than the path that Charlie or Philip has taken. But we're all trying to do our best in this political space and use that political knowledge that we learned to try to enhance different areas of our community and society. So congratulations once again to all of the Trailblazers, and good luck to all of the students in your future paths. Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing the NBPLA to be part of this Trailblazers Awards. Thank you to all the awardees, and congratulations on all your amazing accomplishments. To our students, that's the end of the program today. We'll start bright and early tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, where we will speak with some of the nation's top corporate governmental affairs professionals, and then we will wrap up our summit with our keynote speaker, Congresswoman Alma Adams. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.